Hi, welcome to Lesson 33, Session 1. We are going to be working today on analyzing patterns and relationships. We're going to be using tables over the next week. We're also going to be using graphs. So there's lots of ways that we're going to be analyzing patterns and relationships. We're going to be working in our Ready Classroom math workbook on pages 681 through 684. So go ahead and turn to page 681 in your Ready Classroom math workbook now. All right, so previously we learned to identify and continue numerical patterns. Now we're going to describe the relationship between two patterns. Use what you know to try and solve the problem below. So here's the problem we have. Maria worked at the snack stand at a basketball game. Each frozen yogurt cost $3, and each sandwich cost $6. Maria makes a list of the cost of buying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 frozen yogurts. She also makes a list of the cost of the same number of sandwiches. We need to show how Maria may have made her list of costs, and then write a sentence describing the rules used to make each list. So, first of all, we're talking about a snack stand at a basketball game. We want to show how Maria may have made her lists, and we also want to write a sentence that describes rules used to make each list. The important information is that we know that frozen yogurt cost $3, sandwiches cost $6, and we need to make the list for 0 to 6 of each of those items. So if this were me, here's what I would do. I would go ahead and make a table, and this table would have 3 columns. All right, so I don't know how long I need it, so I'm going to leave it kind of open right now. So my first is going to be the number of items. And remember, we need it for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. So we've got to go quite a ways down. That's why I kind of left that open-ended. I wasn't sure what exactly I would need. So this is talking about how many of each of the items that we have. Then I have yogurt, which costs $3. And then I have a sandwich, which costs $6. So now I have my table ready to go. So now I just need to figure out how much does it cost if I have each of those number of items. So if I have 0 yogurts, it costs $0 because I have none. If I have 0 sandwiches, it also costs $0. Now if I have 1 yogurt, I'm just going to go ahead and do all the yogurts first. If I have 1 yogurt, that will be $3 because each yogurt is $3. If I had 2 yogurts, it would be $6. 3 yogurts would be 3 times 3, which is $9. 4 yogurts is 4 times 3, which is 12. 5 yogurts is 5 times 3, which is 15. And then 6 yogurts would be $18. So that's how much all of the yogurts would cost. Then I'm going to look at the sandwiches. How much would the sandwiches cost? Well, 1 sandwich is $6. 2 sandwiches is 12. 3 sandwiches is 18. 4 sandwiches is $24. $30 for 5 sandwiches, and $36 for 6 sandwiches. So now I went ahead and I showed how she may have made her list on how much it would cost for if she bought that many number of items, how much it would cost. Now we need to write a sentence using rules to describe the list. So the rule for yogurt is And then to find out what the rule is, we need to say every time we move down in the table, what do we add or subtract or multiply by to move down the table? So what is the rule? When we go from 0 to 3, what do we do? That's right, we add 3. Now let's see if that makes sense for the rest of the table. From 3 to 6, can we add 3? Yep. 6 to 9, add 3? Yep. So we know that the rule for the yogurt is add 3. Because each time you add another yogurt, you're adding $3. So what is the rule for sandwiches? I want you to go ahead and write that down right now and then pause it and do it and then see if you get the same answer that I do. All right, the rule for sandwiches is if we go from 0 to 6, we added 6, 6 to 12, we added 6, 12 to 18, we added 6. So the rule is add 6. So when we're looking for the rule, we always look at what is the rate, the amount of change from one term to the next. And we're going to get into that vocabulary in a minute. But what is it to go from one term to the next in the same, in this case, column because of the way I drew it. And then for sandwiches, it's the same. What is the rate of change from one term to the next term? All right, let's go ahead and go to page 682. So how did you find the cost of the yogurts and the cost of the sandwiches? I made a table that showed the cost of both the yogurts and the sandwiches. I added $3 for each additional yogurt and $6 for each additional sandwich. You can go ahead and pause the video and finish writing that out. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. Now, looking ahead, in the previous problem, each list of costs formed a numerical pattern. The numbers in the pattern are called terms. That's the word that I was just used on that last page. But the numbers in the pattern, so the numbers here and here, are called your terms. A rule tells you how to move from one term in a pattern to the next. So a rule is going to tell us how do we move from the term here to the term here to the term here to the term here. What is the rule that we do to move? And it goes in both of those columns. You can generate two related patterns using two different rules. So we had two patterns over here because we had the rule that we added 3 for the yogurts and we added 6 for the sandwiches. So Maria also sells hot dogs for $5 each and pizzas for $10 each. Use the rules shown in the table to list the terms of the two patterns. So let's do hot dogs first and then we'll do pizza. So for hot dogs, if we had 0 hot dogs, how much would it cost? That's right, $0. If we had 1 hot dog, if the rule is add 5, we're going to add 5 to 0. It would be $5. If we had 2 hot dogs, we would add 5 again to get $10. And if we had 3 hot dogs, we would add 5 again to get $15. Now for pizza. If we had 0 pieces of pizza, we would have 0. If we had 1 pizza, we would add 10. So 0 plus 10 is 10. 2 pizzas would be 20. And 3 pizzas would be 30. Now, for part B, it says terms. Again, all of these numbers and all of these numbers are called terms. Terms that are in the same position in two related patterns are called corresponding terms. So, what are the corresponding terms for the cost of 3 items in the 2 patterns you wrote in the table in part A? So if we look at 3 items, we know that this is where we see 3 items. So we're going to look at these 2 terms that are for 3 items. So 3 hot dogs cost $15, where 3 pizzas cost $30. So the corresponding terms are 15 and 30. So 15 and 30 are corresponding terms because they're in the same position. They both have 3 items. So that's how we know they're corresponding terms. Other examples here of corresponding terms are 0 and 0, 5 and 10, 10 and 20. Each of these groups are corresponding terms. Now, reflect. How do the corresponding terms in problem 2b, so up here, compare? How does this 15 and the 30 compare? And is it true for all pairs of corresponding terms in the table? So the term for the hot dog is half the value of the term for the pizza, which means that 15 is half of 30. And this is true for all the corresponding terms on the table. 10 is half of 20. 5 is half of 10. And can you have half of 0? No. So it's just going to stay 0. But the point is that the relationship between these two numbers, in this case, the first term is always half of the second term. Or you could say the second term is 2 times the first term. Either way you say it, it's still true. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about corresponding terms in our graphic organizer. So again, what are corresponding terms? They are the numbers that have the same position in 2 related terms. What do we know about it? We know that the second term in one pattern is the second and the second term in a related pattern are corresponding terms. Now that's the same for the like 0 and 0 are corresponding terms in this example. 2 and 4 are corresponding. 4 and 8 are corresponding. 0 and 0, 1 and 2, 2 and 4. So as long as you stay in the same position, then you have corresponding terms. Or 0 corresponds with 0, 3, 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, 4, 12, 4. All of these are corresponding terms. You're going to go ahead and finish page 683 and 684 on your own. If you have any questions, you can email your teacher. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.